name is Travis Allen. I'm running to be your next governor. How's everyone doing today at the state capitol? Are you ready to take our state back? We have some Californians here. Who here is proud of our state? What state is the greatest state in the nation?
California!
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. That's what I'm talking about. Raise your hand if you were born in this state. Raise your hand if you're lucky enough to come to this state. All right, let's hear it for you all. This is for everyone here in California. That's why I stand in front of you today. Let's hear it. I'll tell you my story. In 2012, I was first elected to office. I'm a Southern California surfer. I grew up 5 minutes from the border, lived for 20 years in Huntington Beach, and you know, I was tired of seeing my parents leaving the state, my brother leaving the state, my best friend moved to Texas. I invest money for clients, and they left. They're in 20 states around the nation. My clients left, their companies left, because California's taxes were too high, our regulations were too burdensome, and it didn't end. The state government kept on putting more and more laws in the way of all of us enjoying our life. And I said, I've had enough. And there's something I'm going to do about it. How do you all feel?
We've had
Have
enough!
you had enough in California?
Yeah!
Are you ready to change the state? In 2012, I got elected. I went to the California Assembly. I fought against every single bad law. I fought against every tax increase. I fought against every time they tried to take our rights away from us. All of these fee increases, all of this new debt. I voted against every single one of them. I stood up there on the assembly floor and I argued against the California Democrats. Right now, Jerry Brown and the California Democrats run California. Democrats run a political machine out of San Francisco, California. You take a look at Jerry Brown, Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Gavin Newsom, all of them. I'm here to tell you that California is bigger than San Francisco. We love everybody in San Francisco, but we love everybody in San Diego, and Los Angeles, and in Orange County, and up in Chico, and up in Redding. We love them all across the state. This state is too big to be run by Bay Area liberal elites. Do you agree with me? So I got elected 5 years ago. I tried to stop every single bad law. I proposed legislation that you need to have a valid California ID in order to vote. I don't know about you, but every time I go to the grocery store and I use my credit card, they ask me for my IDs. Every time I board a plane, they ask me for my ID. Every time I try to rent a car, they ask me for my ID. Whenever I go to the bank, what do they ask me for?
ID!
So why don't you ask people for their ID to identify themselves when they are going to take care of the most important sacred civil duty that we have, electing people in California? Where is the justice? Where is the justice in this? If the bank can ask me for my ID, if the grocery store can ask me for my ID, if I need my ID for everything, why don't I need it to vote?
Scam!
Let me ask you a question. Who here has a valid California ID? Has anyone ever been stopped from getting a California ID?
No!
Did you need much money to do it?
No!
Will the DMV even provide you with an ID if you have no money?
Yes!
So why don't we use an ID to vote?
That is true. Yes.
Let me tell you, my bill to make sure that all California voters must have ID prior to voting was killed along party lines. Every single Republican voted for it, and every single Democrat voted against it. Now listen, this is not about being Republican or Democrat. This is about what's doing right for California. You should not be voting in our state unless you are a California citizen. Do you agree? So this is what we're talking about. I proposed a bill that we have voter ID in California. It was killed along party lines by Jerry Brown and the California Democrats. Next, I proposed a law that if you are in our state illegally, and you are committing crimes, you will not be paid for with taxpayer dollars in the state of California. And if you are a sanctuary city and declare yourself a sanctuary city in California, you will no longer get state funds.
Right.
Do you agree? Does it make sense that people that come to our state and our country illegally and then commit crimes should be protected with our taxpayer dollars?
No!
Absolutely not. Justice for Kate Steinle, my friend. Thank you very much. Kate Steinle would be here today if the person that had killed her in broad daylight with her father when she was walking down that pier in San Francisco had been deported and not let back into the state. 5 times this person came back. This person was a 7-time felon. This person had no business being in San Francisco, but he was released because San Francisco is a sanctuary city, and that is a crime. I think it's about time that California starts obeying federal law. I think it's about time that California has a governor who actually has a friend in the White House. How many people here voted for our current President of the United States? 4 million and more of you, my friends, 4 million and more. So I proposed a bill to end sanctuary cities in California. This bill was voted down by the Democrats. It was stopped by the Democrats. Listen, for 4 decades, over 4 decades, the Democrats have run this building behind me, the California legislature. All except for about a year and a half, the Democrats have had complete dominance in the California state capitol. And as we've watched these 40 years of Democrat dominance in Sacramento, we have watched the 6th largest nation in the world now has the highest poverty rate in the United States. Is that right?
No!
Is it time to change this?
Yes!
Is it time to take back California?
Yes!
Who's going to help you take back California?
You!
You are, and I am.
Turn it red! Turn the whole
Thank you so much. Look, I'm running on a very simple platform. First, California has the highest taxes in the nation. We must cut California's taxes.
Yes.
Understand this. In California, you pay among the highest taxes in the entire United States. Jerry Brown, when he first got into office, had a general fund budget of $88 billion. Today, the general fund budget is $125 billion.
Wow.
I ask you, what happened to the extra $37 billion? Where did it go, Jerry? It didn't go to fix our roads. It didn't go to fix our dams. It didn't go to educate our children. Our schools are now among the worst in the nation. And that is wrong. It is time we take our state back. It is time we use California taxpayer dollars for the benefit of Californians. It's time we rebuild our state. We rebuild our roads. We build up our freeways with more lanes so we no longer have the highest traffic in the entire nation. It's time we get rid of bad teachers and not for our teachers and administrators. Do you agree? Do we love good teachers?
Yes!
Do we love good teachers?
Yes!
That's right, we do. What is the goal of our education system? Is it to pay administrators and bureaucrats, or is it to educate our children? That's exactly right. In the 1950s, the California education system was among the best in the nation. We were the model for the rest of the country.
What happened?
60 years later, we are consistently ranked among the very worst in education. And that is a crime, and that must be fixed. Talking about crime. For decades now, due to California's tough-on-crime policies, our 3 strikes law, crime has been going down and down and down until recently. In 2015, violent crime increased by 7.6%. Last year, we saw double-digit increases in violent crime in 34 major cities around the state. Crime is on the rise due to Jerry Brown and the California Democrats' soft on crime policies. AB 109, Prop 47, Prop 57, early release, lower penalties for offenders, allowing criminals into your neighborhoods is making California less safe. Does that make you feel good?
No!
Does that make you feel safe?
No!
If you commit a crime, where do you belong?
Jail! now.
Exactly right, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Margie
That's
Jordan.
called justice. California must get tough on crime. We have to